back to another episode of Moworks. Today we will be doing the long-awaited Mosin Nagant video. Yeah, I know I did a poll about a month or two back asking you guys what did you want to see, which bolt gun first. You guys said Mosin Nagant. I cheated a little bit with last week's video just because I needed a video to put out because it's been so rainy. I already had that one filmed, but it is a nice clear day. Not anticipating too much, if any, rain, and that is perfect for this Mosin because I don't want to get it wet. Too many, I've heard it said, too many gremlins in the wood that I don't want to bring out by trying to take it apart to clean it. So yeah, we got our Mosin Nagant today. I want to start off this video just by taking a couple shots and then we'll start breaking down. I did do some research on this guy in particular, so I'm going to be able to tell you guys basically everything you could ever want to know about this particular rifle and what it has and maybe a little bit of what it's missing. So let's get some shots downrange. And this time I will remember my hearing and eye protection. Alright, so as many of you guys know, the Mosin Nagant has an internal magazine, which means you can just push the bullets right into the gun. I always really like that in a gun. I know that's not very popular at all in the modern world, but I really like these older guns with the internal magazine. It's something that I've always thought was super nice and convenient. So this guy holds 5 rounds. Yep, all 5 of them. No real safety on a Mosin Nagant as far as I'm aware. I think there is some complex one on a couple of them, but mostly just keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Goodness knows it has a heavy enough trigger pull. We got a little target downrange. We're going to take a couple shots and see where we're hitting. Right. I think a round might have fallen out of my pocket at some point, but otherwise, pretty fun. It does kick quite a bit, but if you're an experienced shooter and you know kind of how to absorb that recoil, especially if you're big like me, like I'm almost 6'3" right now, it's fairly pleasant to shoot. It's not too bad at all. You just got to have proper position, proper placement of that gun against your shoulder. People much smaller than me have shot this gun very successfully. Alright, let's break it down a little bit. Let's get into the weeds here. So, you'll have to excuse me. I'll try not to bore you to death, but I'm going to use a little cheat sheet here. So there's a lot to know about this particular Mosin Nagant. Now, I got all this information off thinlineweapons.com. They have like this kind of almost like choose your own adventure storybook type of deal where it's like, you know, if this is true, go to this page, and if that's true, go to this page, and then you can kind of figure out what your gun is and where it came from. So this particular Mosin Nagant is a Finnish M91. I believe it's supposed to have a cover over this barrel here, a wooden cover, but that has since been lost to time. It's in fairly good condition. You can see there's a little crack right here, probably from missing that upper cover, and there's a crack in the stock somewhere I know of as well, but it doesn't hurt the functionality of the gun at all. This particular model weighs 9.5 pounds, so very heavy by today's standards. It's 51.5 inches in length. So let's see here, I'm about 6'2". So it comes up just to about right under my pectoral muscle. The barrel by itself is 31.5 inches. Now you guys hear about, you know, like skeet shooting shotguns having a 32-inch barrel. When's the last time you heard of a rifle having a 30+ inch barrel? Especially for, it's a large cartridge, you know, 7.62 by 54 rimmed is no slouch, but it's no 50 BMG, right? So 31.5 inch barrel. This barrel made by Tikka. I believe that's where that T comes from right there, that T stamp with the upside down triangle. So it's a Tikka barrel. And it's stamped, and I'll show you guys again, it's stamped, it's a little hard to see, 1926. So this gun was made 2 years shy of 100 years ago. I think that's pretty amazing. 100-year-old gun, little beat up, but not rusty and still shooting good. And the sight radius, yeah, I thought this part was interesting. The sight radius is 27 inches. So, you know, a lot of people call this poor man's sniper rifle, but it really is. You can really hit some really critical shots with a 27-inch sight radius. You think of what people can do with a Glock with a sight radius of what, like 3-4 inches? 27-inch sight radius plus the round that's coming out that barrel. Very accurate, can be very accurate, and has been throughout history. Some additional notes. This guy has the hexagonal receiver. I think that's one of the coolest parts to me. I really like guns that add in that hexagonal shape. Finished 2-piece stock. Obviously, we're missing one of the pieces here, but it's not a true 1-piece stock because we are, I believe, missing that top cover. Oh yeah, I think this is not necessarily super unique, but it's interesting. I've heard that not all the sights, the rear sights on Mosins, have that little 2 stamp. This one does, however, and I think that's fine. I like it when there's something a little bit unique about each rifle. They also describe the front sight as having curved base, curved top, notch rear. I believe that's what this front sight is. The notch on the rear isn't very prominent, but I believe from looking at the photos on thinlineweapons.com that is what it's referring to. And one other thing I think is common to almost all Mosins, but is really kind of funny by today's standards, is the steel butt plate. Really no recoil and absorption in that. It might as well just be a wood stock on the back for all the recoil absorption that you're getting out of it. But that was standard back in the day. It was cheap. It probably kept your ends from splitting too often, and it was very functional for the time period. So this Mosin Nagant M91 finish Tikka barrel actually is not truly mine. This gun belongs to my father. He bought it, I believe, some point in the 80s, and I bet you'll never guess how much he paid for it. He bought this Mosin Nagant for $40. 40. He was talking to a collector who had purchased this gun and noticed that it had a crack somewhere in the stock. It's not even that bad. I think it's like right here. I think my father patched it a long time ago. And it had a crack in the stock, and he didn't really want it. He wanted one that was a lot nicer, you know, really no blemishes on it. And my father said, well, will you sell it to me? And the guy gave my father the gun for the price he bought it for. The price he bought it for as an FFL, which was $40. So my dad forked him over $40 and got this gun that is still around, you know, just about 40 years later, probably more like 30. He probably bought it, you know, late 80s, early 90s, because then he would have been old enough to get a rifle during that period, at least, that time period. So yeah, so that's the first part. You guys wanted to know more about the Mosin. You wanted to know more about this rifle. That's what I found on it. We shot some shots downrange. Now, the next part we're going to be diving into is the penetration test. Now, on the poll, after you guys said you guys all wanted to see the Mosin, I did a poll saying, well, what do you want to see about the Mosin? And a lot of it was, oh, we want to just learn about your Mosin. So you guys have learned about it now. And then the second highest rated one was versus 30-06. So we're going to be shooting this versus 30-06. The third highest ranked one was penetration test. So we're going to mix that in with the versus 30-06. We're going to shoot at some mild steel, and then we're going to shoot at some gallon jugs, and we'll see how this compares to 30-06. So let's jump right into it. But before we do that, I wanted to give a quick word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is you guys. All your commenting, liking, subscribing has helped to boost this channel. We're a little less than halfway towards monetization, but we're getting close, and that's going to open up so many doors for this channel. So please guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments anything you want to see in future videos, anything you want to see us do as far as ammunition tests, gun tests, different guns, maybe more gun reviews. Maybe you just want to see more things explode. Let me know down in the comments, and we'll make it happen eventually, whether it's now or whether it's after monetization, where we get some more fun toys to play with. Okay, now on to the testing. All right, penetration test. This is a big, solid, you know, almost 1-inch hunk of mild steel I've been saving for a video like this think this came off the railway or something like that. Anyway, we're gonna set this up downrange, far downrange. We're gonna take a little bit of cover, I believe. Not that I really think it's too dangerous, but a lot of people have told me that it is, and I am up for believing other people. Now, I will say, we have our tourniquet, and we have our quick clot, or combat gauze, whatever you want to call it. So it is relatively, I think it's relatively safe, and if it isn't, we have the means to survive and get to help, which is not too far away. So, mild steel versus the Mosin Nagant, chambered in 7.62 by 54 rimmed, and then we'll do 30-06 from the Remington 783. For this test, we're going to be using full metal jackets for both guns, and in the gallon jug test where we're shooting water, we're going to be using a soft point for both guns, which is fun because it's not every day you see 7.62 by 54 rimmed and a big soft point bullet, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But first up, penetration test. So whenever I do more dangerous shots like this, you guys are in a little bit of danger too. You guys as in my GoPro. So my father built me this little protective box. I'm gonna stick you guys in there. I'm gonna get you guys way up close on this little bit of mild steel here. First shot will be from the Mosin. The second shot will be from the Remington 783. Let's have at it. All right, looks like neither one made it through. To my eye, it looks like the Mosin bulge is a little wider around, but not quite as deep as the 30-06 bulge. Now let's flip it. There we go. Man, very, very similar results between the Mosin and 30-06. Kind of interesting considering that they were made for virtually the same purpose. World War, hard-hitting rifle bullet. I imagine if we had a 303 British out here, like a Lee Enfield, we would get a very similar result to these. So yeah, Mosin Nagant, 30-06. Get a pinky in both of those. All right, so pretty much a tie on our last test, but now maybe this one will give us a little bit more tactile input. Got 2 gallons of water here. One will be for the Mosin, one will be for the 30-06. So in our last test, the Mosin Nagant full metal jacket was 148 grains, while the 30-06 was 150. In this test, the Mosin Nagant bullet, the 7.62 by 54 rimmed, is 180 grain soft point, and the 30-06 bullet will be a 150 grain soft point. I'm aware they make 30-06 bullets in 180 grain. I just didn't have any on hand for this test, and it was hard enough to get the Mosin ammo as it was, let alone try to get a whole nother box of 30-06, spending, you know, $25 on that. So these are the bullets we're going to be using. Same as last time, Mosin Nagant is up first. Now, for all you guys out there that are like, don't put me in that box, don't put me in that box. Okay, I'm not putting you in the box this time. Chill out, it's just water. I'm gonna set them up like this, then we're gonna blast them. Get ready, set, and go. You guys are looking a little bit soggy there. part of me was like, oh, they're not in the splash zone, and the other part of me is like, they're in the splash zone, you guys are in the splash zone. But hopefully you got a good look at that 30-06 shot. It was pretty spectacular. Yeah, so we see this is the 30-06. Don't worry, I'll go on trash patrol later. Pretty good results there. And this was the Mosin Nagant. I gotta say, guys, that was pretty close. I thought for sure the Mosin was gonna smoke the 30-aught on this one, but I don't know. They both successfully blew the cap off. 30-06 did blow the whole label off, but I will say, looking at both of those, I might have hit a little bit to one side with that Mosin. All right. All right, well, I sincerely hope you guys liked my little video on the Mosin Nagant. I had a lot of fun shooting it. It's not every day I get to go out and shoot this gun. It's not every day I have the ammo for it. Not every day that I want to go spend a couple, you know, couple quarters per shot. But I had a lot of fun. I know I promised you guys I would do this one. I always like to follow through on my word. So here you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I think I might shoot a shot or two more through this guy. Our good friend Base Baylor provided some of the ammo that we used today. So big thanks to him. Check him out on YouTube and check him out on Twitch. That's BASEDBALOR on Twitch and YouTube. He does a lot of video game content and he's a big guy like me. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Lots of fun stuff to come. Thank you for tuning in today.